Hey everyone, welcome to Love Your Body Podcast. On today's episode, we have my amazing friend and sponsor for the Fight for What You Want Challenge, Alex Rodriguez.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, welcome to the house. And welcome to the
it.
podcast.
It's so cute.
Thank you. I was gonna say, where did you come from? Where'd you drive from? Where's your house at? Like you're near
Gallatin.
Gallatin. Okay, so you're close.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know that. Because fun fact, we met. Where did we meet? At the Nashville.
At the Fit.
The expo.
Yeah, I'm like Fit. Yep.
Was it the Busy State Fit Expo?
Yeah, because I had my ambassador Nat here, and she went and watched you do your.
Yes.
Yeah.
My move fit. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. That was the connection. I couldn't remember because I was just like, I feel like I've known you for like ever now, and which is awesome.
Right.
I know it's so special. But no, what I remember seeing was because I'll look at the booths and stuff, but usually I don't have time to like go buy everybody's stuff and like whatever,
and
like
plus
see.
It's a lot.
And yeah, and but what I saw was the photos that you had, that whole setup, and I was like sick, and I was like.
And it like lights up.
I was like, I need it. Like that's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I really do.
do.
Like, and but because I love some good photos and everything, and that was just like it really stuck out. And so I was like, man, like what is that apparel? It's okay because apparel stuff, cool, whatever. And anyway, and then after seeing your stuff and just like how fun and everything, I just love it. Like
Thank you.
And so tell me and tell them about like. First off, are you from Nashville or?
No, so originally I'm from Idaho.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the potato state.
Yeah,
all that.
That's all I know about it.
Yeah.
Literally potatoes. So.
You got it.
Okay.
It's really pretty. No, really, we enjoyed our childhood there. We were always in like McCall, or we were in Utah skiing, and it's really pretty over there. But.
Okay. So what brought you here?
So crazy story. Davis and I, we just threw a dart at a map, and we're like, before Evie gets into school and we have to like stay somewhere to raise her, let's just go. So,
wow. Okay. So how old is your daughter?
She's 9 now.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you've been here since what, like 5 years ago or longer?
2020. So we moved right like 2 weeks before the shutdown happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was super pregnant with my son, and so.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have 2 kids.
2 kids, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, mama, let's go. Okay. So both of them are now, you said 5, is it? Or he's 4?
So he's 4, yeah.
Okay, 4, and then she's 9.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. So when you moved here, was it like, did you already have Klon? Or
yes, so Klon, it started in 2019. So I'm pretty sure we launched 2019 with like our first like crop hoodie, something.
By the way, for those watching on YouTube, we're both wearing Klon Apparel.
Yeah,
so my little like tank, and then
we literally have the same tank on.
Yes. Yeah, because your whole set, everybody's been talking about. Because like,
oh my gosh,
I'm like, get it. And one of my clients just like, I just don't know if I should get that or get the jumpsuit. And I was like, both. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, both.
Yes.
You will love them both.
You can't go wrong, And so, but no, which is so cool. And you brought me goodies. So I'm going to check it out real quick and see, since we're in fall. So when this episode goes out, like we in real fall.
Yes.
So I'm so excited. Got some green.
Yes, the green crop. It does have a built-in bra with it.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I love that. And then what we got? Ooh,
these are
orange.
Our pocket leggings. Yes. So
I love the pockets. I've been wearing like the black ones I have. I really like.
And do they have the third zipper on the back? Yes. I love that.
So love that. So that's very nice. Because again, too, I've been walking and doing all like for the challenge and stuff. And so I just like the other day I wore some leggings when I was walking and I didn't have pockets. And I was like,
what the heck?
I was like, this is clearly like,
this is worst time
This is, but literally, I'm like, because I'm trying to disconnect when I'm doing it.
Right.
So it's like that only forces me to be more on my phone when I'm doing all the walks and the 10,000 steps a day and whatever. Yeah. So no, I've really loved that and enjoyed that. So this is awesome. But really great apparel. I mean, I've over the years I've had plenty of like clothing sponsors. Right. People send me stuff all the time, whatever. And, it's literally... there's no in between. It's either like not great or it's like awesome, right? And so again, when we talked about this and stuff, I actually got stuff at the Nashville Fit Show. Yeah, we were both sponsoring.
You got the set,
and I got that set, and then I think I bought the cream that you had, that on too. But you had sent me even before that, because what happened was What happened was I saw. Y'all had tagged me in something from the expo and saying like that you love the set that I was wearing.
I thought, because I thought you had our orange.
Yes, because it looks similar.
The color of it.
Of it, yes. And I was like, oh no, because the whole story with that, I don't know if I told you, I chased down like a mail carrier to get that.
Oh my gosh.
Because I had ordered it 3 days prior. Last minute, of course. And I was like, I just need because I wanted to feel, because I wanted to feel good in my body when I did move fit. And, and we've talked about this and like going through the hormonal, all the stuff and everything. And I was just like, I need a new outfit. Like, I don't want to wear something that's too big and I'm uncomfortable on stage. I don't want to wear something that's too tight. So I'm going to buy some new stuff. And apparently that clothing place I ordered from, you had to have a signature to sign.
Right.
Well, the front of my house is an Airbnb. So when people deliver stuff, y'all, so if you send me anything, make a note. It has to come to the side, or I don't get it, or they take it back.
Oh my gosh!
So she took it back. So I was getting my hair braided. I get a notification, you missed your package. Nah, sis, I did not miss my package. So this is the day of the expo, or the day before the expo. Okay, when I have to go set up anyway. So my mom was coming up here to help me set up. Guys, tell the story. It's ridiculous. Literally, y'all, flipping out because I was like, okay, just be cool, cool. It's fine. My mom will go to the store, go to UPS, and pick it up. She shows up there, and they're like, we close at 5, and the carriers won't get back till 5:30. What's that math? How does that work out?
I'll stand right here in this lobby.
No, that's what my mom said. She was like, I'll stand here and whatever. But then they're like, you can come back at 8 the next morning. Well, I was going to dance at 9.
I was like, I'll be busy.
Yeah. So the whole thing is ordeal. I'm like, maybe one of my bastards, maybe somebody can go get the stuff. And I'm like freaking out. Anyway, long story short, I end up, my mom's like, hey, I talked to somebody on the side of the street, like one of the male people. She's like, they saw her go. So here's the location. Go here now. I jump in my car.
Literally tracking
we chase profiling hardcore. Chase her because I have her on my Ring camera. I'm like looking for this woman.
Screenshot
braided bun on her head,
everyone.
And I'm like, who is this chick? And so anyway,
your neighborhood's just like
literally, but they gave us somebody on Rosa Parks. So we had to drive like 15 minutes. I'm like, man, she's like, why is she over here? It was not the right person.
Oh, no.
So me and mom were kind of going back and forth, like trying to find her. I was like, mom, look, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go back to the house, get my protein shake, and then we gotta head to the expo. We gotta get set up. Whatever, I'll figure it out. I won't wear the outfit. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Okay. It was such a big deal to me. Yeah. So I'm driving back,
but you're just like taking a step back.
And I get off the exit, right? And I'm driving, and I see this. I see a white car. No joke. And I was like, maybe it's her.
Profile.
I literally went and a U-turn in the middle, and people who've been in my house know that's exactly what I did.
Two
and
wheels.
So and I go back, and this is her. Literally, no joke. She like peers over the thing like this, looking, and she's like, who is this white girl? Like she literally like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And literally, because I was just chasing her down all day, and I look like I'm crazy. Like I literally look like she's like, because she's been told by other people that someone's looking for you. And I'm like, and so she was like, I said, I'm the one that's been looking for you. And she was like, I figured. And she walks up and she was like, hey. And I was like, hey. And she's like, can you show me the packing slip? I said, my mom has the packing slip. And she's like already at the expo at the fairgrounds.
Send me a picture right now.
No, literally. And she was like, I have the packing slip. And I looked at her, I was like, I've been looking for you for hours.
Yeah,
and like, this is you on my Ring doorbell, right? And I was like, can I just have the package?
Yeah.
I was about to take it and go, honestly. I was about to run.
Yeah.
And she was like, you just sign here. And I was like, thank you so much. So moral of the story, everyone, when you fight for what you want, you usually get what you want. So keep on going. But like, anyway, all that to say, so I tagged you, I was like, hey, well, like that wasn't the set, whatever. And you were like, let me send you the actual set.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, thank you. I open up this package. And not only was the set in there, but there was like 2 pump cover t-shirts and then there was like, I think another sports bra and then like 2 other shorts or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like so cool. And it really was so special because you did not want to have to do that. And then 2, I was just like, man, like she like took care of me and you didn't know me from anybody really, you just had seen like, what stuff or whatever. And you didn't know how much that meant to me because like I said, I've been in a season of, letting go of the bodybuilding, and all that. And so now eating like, more nutrient dense foods and like all the stuff. So weight's been fluctuating and all that stuff. So I really didn't have stuff that really fit and felt good. So to get a whole package of just this new stuff that all looked great and felt great. Yeah. I was like, man, like, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to thank you for that. And like,
you're welcome.
And it was really special. And so after that, we were like, oh my gosh.
Hey.
And then we saw each other at the National Fit Show. I was like, let me get some more stuff.
Yes.
And so it was cool. And then you sent me some other stuff and now you're Fight for What You Want, sponsor. And so now everybody's going to get to see all your stuff. And literally in the LYB, I was wearing purple and they're like, yeah, you don't wear purple, but like, that's like, you look good. And I was like, thanks guys, Klon.
Thanks.
So tell them a little bit about like when you started in 2019 with that, what was the messaging? What was the reasoning?
So started in 2019. Mm-hmm. So by then I had done, I think, my first bodybuilding show and I was starting, or had just done my second bodybuilding show. Anyway, so you've been in bodybuilding, you know it. So there are certain people and positions within bodybuilding that if you don't fit a certain mold, if you're not like washboard abs chiseled, then you don't belong here kind of thing, or like shouldn't wear XYZ. And when you're going like, so I'm bodybuilding doing all this, but I wouldn't say that my entire support system is in the bodybuilding. So like they're really supportive, whatever. And they're not like this shredded meat. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked.
Yeah.
So we started, so as I'm bodybuilding and doing this, I'm noticing this trend of like, there's really awesome people, but there's also not so awesome people.
For sure.
And as I'm going and like, you're going through all of these workout sets really fast.
Yeah.
So like, because you're in the gym for hours a day. So like, you know, they
you're not
just
wearing one thing. Like,
no.
honestly, like you're changing multiple times a day. You're sweating. You're disgusting.
So,
clothes running. Yeah.
And it's expensive. Like the workout clothes, like why is a pair of leggings $150? And then like in a few months, I'm not even going to be able to wear them anymore because
your body's changing.
Yes. So all this stuff. So I'm like, man, there's got to be like a better way. And then, so my mind, I'm like, there's always like a better way to do it, right? Like we don't have to be paying this.
Yeah.
So I started looking up the manufacturers for bigger clothing companies, and I was like, okay, so it's this fabric that they're using, or like, and then it's like this. So then I like cloned their stuff.
Oh.
So it's literally the exact same stuff, but for literally a fraction of the cost.
Wow.
But, and then it's also like, we wanted it to be size inclusive, and for every booty is the tagline. And so I love that you always are like, every body. I'm like, yes, every booty, like we matter. And so it doesn't matter if you're extra small, shredded for your next debut on stage, or if you're one of the plus size girls that's like on her journey loving her body through it, like we've got you at no matter what stage you're in. And like awesome. I've worn clone pregnant, I've worn clone shredded, like it's always fluctuated with what I'm doing in my life.
I love that.
So that's the premise of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. No, because I didn't know. I was kind of like, where, where does that name come from and everything like that. So that's awesome. Yeah. Yay. Okay, I love that. And so when you did that show in 2019, have you done any more since then?
My last show I did right after I had my son.
Okay.
And then I haven't done any more since I've decided I don't want to compete anymore.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, girl. So with that, like when you came here and everything like that, was it one of those things where, because you came here in 2020, so you'd already started the business in 2019. So was it challenging when you got to Nashville, or did you feel like you had a better market for it, or like what was that like?
Well, so Clone's always been online. Like I don't have a brick and mortar, so I feel like we've built this brand and this community online. So really, no matter where I go, and then I meet people. Like I vibe with people. So as soon as I click with someone, I'm like, hey, like let's hang out. You know what I mean? Sure. So like just because I work and have that, I've never felt like there was ever like a stutter.
Yes.
You know, like definitely learning curves, right? Because within business but like as far as the community and like that, I feel like Clone has got a really nice, solid community.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. And no, it feels like that too, from everything, I've seen and stuff like that. And that's been awesome. And so tell me a little bit. So your husband, when did you meet him? What does he do?
So Davis, we actually met in 3rd grade, but we, listen, it's not like this love story. We met in 3rd grade. Like, no. Like now, we've got this.
Bitter.
Yeah. No, don't. Dude, Listen. It's not that. So I've known him since 3rd grade.
Okay.
Like, and he's always like, "You were my first kiss." I'm like, "Oh, that's cute." You know what I mean? No, I love him. He's the best. But we met 3rd grade, grew up together, and he always tells a story. He's like, the reason I fell in love with you is because in 3rd grade I was getting bullied, and you like came up and you were like, "Stop bullying him." Like just,
so you stood up for him?
Just stood up. And he's like, no one ever like stood up for me ever. And then the bully, his name, I don't even remember, but the bully was like, well, why? Is he your boyfriend? I'm like, so what if he is? Stop bullying him. And David's just like, it was then. I just knew.
I just knew. What are you in third grade? Are you like
I'm like,
8? Like
dude.
7?
Yeah, like, okay.
So what really happened? When did y'all really like? No.
But so we reconnected like 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, reconnected then. I had just lost my first husband to suicide in 2016 and then moved back to Idaho and then reconnected with him. He was living in California and then messaged him and was just like, hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, so you were in Idaho with your first husband? Is that what you're saying?
So Utah I was in.
Utah. Okay.
Yeah, and
I
then
see.
after he passed, I went back to Idaho to
Okay.
be closer to family and then
Gotcha.
met Davis, met Davis.
Yeah, like as
Months
adults.
later, yeah.
Yeah. Not on the playground anymore.
Yeah, but as adults, yeah.
Gotcha. So with that, I mean, are you open to talking about
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was like in terms of like you guys were living in Utah, you know, what were you doing before Klon? Like what were you like,
So before Klon, I was living in Utah and I was married and I actually worked as a manager of a Texas Roadhouse and like the plan was to like own one and like make it, you know, so like I've always wanted to like, anyway.
Yeah.
So I was working there. Carlos is his name. He was working at like some chemical company. He was like one of the filled tank guys. I don't know the technical terms of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a home together in Utah, and that's where I was and what we were doing before.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And how long were y'all married for?
We got married in 2016, but we were together for 8 years,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
like total.
Okay, so because how old are you?
How old am I? 33.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like you're 20. So like, for the
Yeah.
most part, you're 20s. Y'all were together. So had y'all met through what? Through college, or was it like?
So I moved to Utah in my senior year of high school, and met him. He had graduated a year prior, and
Okay.
I don't even remember how we met, but like you just hang out with everyone, like, and then meet. Yeah, so I met him when I was still in high school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he had just like graduated high school.
Okay, gotcha. So you moved to Utah at that time, and your parents it was because of their jobs that you moved, or
No, so my dad and my stepmom live in Utah, and my mom and stepdad. Did I say that right? Mom and stepdad.
yeah.
Dad and step. Woof. Yeah. I'm like parents.
Yes,
Yeah.
parents. Parents are in Idaho.
Yeah,
then
and Utah.
in Utah.
So
Got it.
yeah, I decided to.
go with them
live.
for the
Yeah.
senior year. Wow, that must have been like kind of challenging, or were you excited about that?
So I actually got kicked out of my mom's house in Idaho, and then
Okay.
I was like, how do I say this?
No, you say it.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
fine.
So
Yeah, you're good.
I was a party girl and got kicked out of my mom's house.
Okay. She was like, go be with your dad.
Yeah, she's like, okay, bye.
Okay.
I tried.
Okay. So do you have a good relationship with both of them?
Yeah, now we've got a great relationship. Like,
Okay.
I literally just told my mom on, I think, Mother's Day. Was
Yeah.
that? Yeah. I, like, in the card, I was like, you were right, like, period. And, like, a little heart. And so she gets it. She calls me. She's like, hey. I'm like, hi, Mom.
Oh, I love that so much. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny, though? Like, they just know.
Yeah.
But,
So.
yeah, we have to learn, though.
But yeah,
We
great
gotta go through it.
relationship. My both sets of parents are retired, and they just travel and do whatever the hell they want.
Okay.
All the
and,
time.
and you're the only child?
No, I am one of 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So youngest or oldest?
I'm second oldest.
second oldest. Okay, gotcha. Okay, and where are they all at?
So my youngest brother, he's serving a mission in Alabama for
Okay.
their church.
Okay.
And then all my other siblings are in Idaho.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. So you're just like in Nashville, just like different,
Yeah.
and like you're like, okay, doing the deal. So tell me this. So in terms of you know, with everything, Carlos, right? Was that his
Yeah.
name? Yep. His name. Like, did you know what was the kind of signs coming that you could tell he was going through some mental struggles, or was it?
Well, yeah, like, okay, so with Carlos, we met, and it was always fun, like, always fun. And then when we were, like, started dating, then, like, you get to know someone.
Yeah.
And so then I got to know that he was, like, on antidepressants, and then he was, like, super just not okay, but, like, steady. And it's crazy because we were so young that I wish I knew, you know, Hindsight's 2020.
Right.
But so he always did have signs, and then he had tried a couple times, but yeah, I didn't really know then.
Right. I feel like it's so crazy to me because, like, I always say that, like, when I meet somebody, like, I feel like I would know, like, that's who I'm going to, like, marry and, like, whatever, right? But truly when it comes down to it, like, you may know, but, like, you don't really know a person, even after so many years of stuff. Like, I mean, and even as, like, silly as a example of this is, it's like I've had some of my friends come on the podcast, and then they're like, oh, I just realized, like, what fight was, like, my energy booster. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, I just realized that, like, you have a brother and you have all these nieces and nephews. So, like, I just realized, like, because there's so much to it. And, like, when you, and like, me and my best friend went to Cedar Point, and we were driving up, we had a 9-hour drive.
Right.
Which was fantastic. Because I was like, tell me about your life.
Yeah.
Because I know so much, and there's been so many things, and we've helped each other throughout all this stuff, right? But it's like, what? You know what I mean? And I'm learning these things I'd never heard before. And I mean, I've known her since, now since 18 or whatever. And so not even a terrible long time, but like, it's still just learning new things continually.
Right. Well, and really, if you think about it, anytime you hear anything, you're only taking in 70% of that information. So like every time you're telling me something, I'm only remembering 70%.
Right.
Like,
and unless it's something you want to hear over and, yes, exactly. And so, so I find it to be so wild because, when you hear stories like that, and even with like my situation and stuff like, and everything, I think that I only knew the version of him that he showed me. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I don't think I ever really knew the real him.
Right.
And it was as close to the real him that he could get.
Right.
To me, but like that was it.
Right.
And it's hard, and that's why I try to promote, having the talks and like having especially when men come on about like mental health and going through that, because they need that outlet.
100%.
And that you're never so far gone that we can't come back from it.
Right.
Like, yes, like awful things happen, people make mistakes, whatever, but like you still can turn it around.
100%.
Like, but anyway, but all that to say, do you believe that like that? I mean, because if you wouldn't have had that happen, like you wouldn't have then met your husband now, or do you feel like?
I do. Yeah, I feel like everything would be so different.
Yeah.
Just we were in it was toxic. It really was. So I don't know what would have ever happened.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah. Do you regret that at all? Like in terms of anything that happened, or were you like, are you more like, I'm like, in terms of like how everything was going on? Like I look back at the things that happened with Wes, and I'm like, I don't regret anything. Like a lot of people are like, oh, did you wish that you would have like left sooner or this or that or whatever? It's like, but like for me, it's like, I
don't regret anything. Right. But like, I'm devastated. Like, does that make sense? And then like that, there's the grief that you carry for ever. And people are like, time heals all wounds. I'm like, I don't think it heals. I think time gives you opportunity to learn new ways to accept what's happened and then honor and cherish them in a different way that's
100%.
Healthy.
Yes. No, 100%.
I don't know how better to say that than that, because it's crazy. So his mom and family, we don't have any contact with.
Okay.
And I haven't blocked her number to allow her, because one day I do want to, extend that. But she will send me messages once a month that she's just like, thinking of you, whatever. And then on his anniversary date this last year, she asked me if I like still felt the pain, and then followed it up a couple hours later with, oh, sorry, that was the wrong person. I was like, okay.
No, you definitely meant that for me.
Like, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I do. But I just like didn't even respond. I was like, okay.
Oh man. And I mean, it's so hard because I mean, it affects so many people and in all different ways too.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, even just one, like Carlos affected like an entire community of people. Like it's devastating to everyone around him, to any one person that's going through this and like suffering or hurting. Like it's devastating for them and everyone. Yeah. What
did you, if you mind sharing, did you like do any like grief counseling afterwards or any groups or therapy?
I got into bodybuilding.
Oh, that okay. Okay, so that was the transition.
Like,
okay.
Literally, so a few months before he had committed suicide, I got a coach and like started doing stuff. And then after he committed suicide, then I was just like, I can either go drink and rage or I can go to a different bar. So I went that way. But yeah, I have talked to a couple therapists, and then like we're currently doing, like we're starting our our family therapy too, because now that Evie, like she's starting to ask more questions, and I answer them the best I can, but I also want it to be open, and I don't know how the hell to do it. So I'm like bringing in someone else
I
to
see.
help the conversation, I
So
guess.
okay, so because your little boy is from Davis,
Yes.
and then your
Evie
little girl
is Carlos's. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Again with the math, man,
Dude.
I can't math it. I try.
So Evie was 2 when Carlos passed.
Okay, I see. Okay, gotcha. So she's starting to ask questions.
Yeah. Well, she always has. Like I've always been open and honest about it. So she doesn't know. So she knows that he died, but she doesn't know how. But she knows that he he was sick. His mind was sick is what we say. Because I don't. She's an intelligent girl, but like your frontal lobe's not fully developed until so like let's not.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah.
So you got into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so during that time, was like that your only form of therapy? And then like now, like after a few years, okay.
So it's crazy too, so I got into bodybuilding, and then because literally I didn't know what else to do. Like as soon as it happened, I messaged my coach and I was like, "Hey, dude, like this just happened." She's like, "Okay, let's pause." And I'm like, "I don't know what else to do, so no."
Right. You're like, yes.
Like, no, actually, I'm gonna do the June show, and
who does that sound like? Everyone listening? Yeah, like
dig in, bitch. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, dude, I didn't know what else to do because I have this 2-year-old, and when Carlos had committed suicide, we were like separated. Like I was in my own apartment. Like it wasn't a good situation.
I see.
So it's just there was a lot, so I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, the gym literally saved my life and my daughter. But yeah, I started doing that. Did my first show June, and then took a break and decided to do another show. And in between that break is when I met Davis, and then moved to California, and then moved here.
And now you're here.
Now we're here.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked about the therapy and stuff is because I didn't even know that these services like existed, but like there's a free, it's like I think it's called Alive, but it's like this like therapy group or whatever here. And this was around the time, so when all of my stuff happened was in 2020. So they were doing virtual stuff, and they still do that, but it was like a weekly. I mean, and they had so many. They had like all female. They had for like, I mean, grief for loved ones, grief from like whoever, right? Yeah. I think there was one for pets, like a grief. You know what I mean? There's all different types of things, and I was like, man, like this would be great because I just needed help, and like I had never done therapy before that. Because all of my stuff that I ever dealt with was all my stuff. Right. It was learning to deal with the body shaming. It was learning to deal with the verbal abuse. It was learning to deal with all those things. And I felt like I really did have a handle and like worked through those things, whether that was through prayer, whether that was through, the gym, through like I had other outlets to help me. Right. But when it came to his stuff, I mean, the best depiction I can put of it is just like a dark thunder cloud. You know what I'm saying? And where it was just smothered, like down. And I'm just like, I don't know how to go through this. I don't know, whatever. And so when he finally did pass, which I knew he would, and that was the direction everything was going, it almost was like I can breathe, And then when that happened, I was like, but like now I can breathe, but like also like, what do I do? Right. Like the very next day I trained clients all the next day. Right. Like, and that's what and you know what I mean? I didn't know. And so I just kept doing more things. And at this point I'm injured as well. So I'm not doing strongman stuff. I'm trying to, but I'm like, like whatever. So I'm in pain. And it was, I'm in this high rise. I'm this influencer for this building. All the things supposed to be happening, you know? And literally it's like, it's all crumbling down. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to the Love Your Body podcast and for subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please follow me on all social channels, Dani Fitness, the number 1. And you guys, if you haven't yet checked out How to Love Your Body Throughout, my new book on Amazon, please do so. And for those who have already read it and used all the LYB tools in there, please share on Amazon, leave a 5-star review for me, share with your friends and everyone. And continue to support the mission. And so thankful for you listening to the podcast, and we'll see you soon.
Hi guys, my name is Alex Rodriguez and I'm the owner of Klon Apparel. That's KLON Apparel. You can find us on Instagram. We do also have a website and it's klonapparel.com. We've got some good stuff. Check us out.
But yeah, I was going to say something about that, but I'll pause on that, but go back to this. So with the whole like grief thing, I was gonna tell you with Alive or whatever, that what I ended up doing was, it was just like a weekly thing. I was like, this is gonna be super awkward. This is gonna be uncomfortable. Like I am not here for it. And I want to say that I had started with a therapist or this was like, because I had tried 2 therapists before he had passed away. And that was just, they were not, it was the most uncomfortable situation. Right. And one lady was like, I'm not equipped to help you. Yeah.
What?
And I was like,
you got fired by a therapist?
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know that was a thing.
It was a thing. Well, I mean, I made it a thing. But it was just because at first I tried to like go in person. I tried a virtual, and like all these different things. Right. Try to help me because my friends, I mean, they really were like there, and I'm sure, whatever. But it was just, they didn't know at this point. They're like, we don't know how to help.
Well, and unless you don't know unless you know. And if you know, I'm so sorry if you know. But like, you don't know unless you know.
Exactly. And that's where like, so then when I finally got my therapist and I still work with her now, but she was great. But also I was like, hey, look, like, I'm not gonna lie, like you're really expensive and like whatever. But, and again, I'll pay for that, things that whatever. But is there anything in the interim, when we don't see each other, like the interim? She's like, well, there's this Alive or whatever. And groups and stuff. So check those out.
Right.
And so, did that. And literally like, it was like, I just sat with my camera off for a minute. Like, you can introduce yourself if you want or not. And literally, like, I just remember the first one being like, I'm so uncomfortable. But then by the end of it, I was like, wow, that was really beautiful. Because we all got to just share what we're going through.
Cameras off and just
and you could do cameras off or you could have your camera on, it didn't matter. And it was just super chill. And like you didn't even have to talk, but like they at least wanted you to introduce yourself, Right. And I was like, man, like thank you so much for that. And so and it was just virtual. So if I wanted to, I could just shut the laptop, y'all. I could just log off. Like it was very minimal,
like
and
you didn't have to go.
And it didn't cost money.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I did that in a little studio apartment at Connect, and I did that literally every week, and would just go to different groups and stuff, and everyone, like, no one gave advice, it was just you telling your story and people being like, I get it.
You just get a hug.
Yeah, exactly. And
just need a hug.
Yeah, and so that was super beautiful, and that really helped me. That's why I always try to talk to my friends who are going through similar situations, like, and tell them like, I know you can conquer the world, or you have your therapist or whatever, but something about that group community, because truly, I didn't feel like I had group support in anything.
Right.
Like, of course, like my community, of clients stuff, but again, it's not their job, but like they felt for me, but like,
but I'm not going to put this on you.
No, exactly. Like when we're together, like we're here to have fun. We're here to like move our body. Right. You know what I mean? Like turn the negative into a positive, like all of those things. And so, and that's when I felt like my best, but it was the times when I'm sitting there like alone and like, who is that group or whatever. And with Strongman, because I had got injured, I was getting further and further away from there.
Right.
And so it was kind of like, it was just not a good, the people within that group, some of them, it wasn't a good influence.
Right.
And I don't know if that's how it was for you, because like when you talk about like you could have gone and drank or whatever, or gone to the bar, it's like that was me. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink, and then like, but it was just
saying
like,
I didn't drink. I'm saying
but that wasn't the whole thing. Yeah, no. But like I was just like, the thing is I don't really enjoy alcohol. Like there's a couple things like I would like vibe if someone got me some like really really nice champagne or something. Cool, I'll have that. But like it was one of those things where I was just drinking randomly, like on a Tuesday night, and not like in excess, but like I just was never an active drinker like that.
Right.
So that's when I was like, this is like, you're just sad,
Right.
Like you don't need this. And so anyway, so with that though, but then like I was getting praised for like going on the dating apps and like doing things that I shouldn't be doing, and like, you know what I mean, and getting myself in situations that were not the best. And so that was when I was like, okay, whoa. Stuff's like, this is wrong. So around that time is when I had like started my like podcast back then. and to try to help me kind of like navigate and be like my own kind of therapy.
Right.
And so that was really cool to start there. And then a lot of stuff, like it was like 3 months later after, well, it was about 5 months after he passed. But like I was starting to kind of come out of my shell and be like, okay, you know what? Like I'm doing therapy. I'm going to enjoy this time at Connect, be the best influencer, I can with this and everything and to my clients and whatever. And that was when like I had posted the tire flip video.
Right.
And so like, that
and then look at your life just
and that just
blew up.
Yeah,
dude.
and it was so cool because it was just like God knew that I needed like, not that I posted it to need affirmation, right? I didn't need that, but it was one of those things from others or whatever.
But that
it
brought
was
you joy.
But it was something that it was like because if people realize and they don't know the backstory or whatever, but like Wes was at that competition,
right?
That was our first one. He met my parents there.
I'm like, it was a significant.
That's why I posted about it.
There's significance to the post.
Exactly. And I don't know why people don't understand that.
Closer for that.
Yeah, literally, like
for the post.
Yeah, like let them like really sink in, you guys. Because like if you ever notice like the music I put on my stories,
I always say that, dude. I'm like, listen, maybe it's the song title or the lyrics. You'll never know, but there's significance to literally everything.
Dude, when that guy that I dated, who was stupid, about a year ago. I can't believe that was a year ago, but when he like cheated on me or whatever, I put up I put up a video and like the background music was literally explicitly like, you suck, like you're the worst. I will only find better. Like
no one has a clue.
It was just so funny.
Well, now they do.
Yeah, I'm
Secret's out.
Yeah, surprise you guys. No, everybody hates him. Like he's lucky that I didn't send people out to like mess his stuff up. Anyway, but yeah, it's just crazy. I can't believe that was like a year ago. That's wild. But in like time, it just flies by, like in that sense. But
really?
But I definitely resonate with the whole like the grief. Like this is the whole thing about the support thing I didn't have. It's like it was almost like they were trying to rush me. They're like, you're free now. You can go do whatever you want. Like all the stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, I understand what you're saying, but also like, I don't want these things.
Right.
These things are worldly. These things bring me nothing.
Nothing.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't feel fulfilled. But again, it was like, I'm getting praised for all this. And it was just kind of like, okay. And
like
so
he's literally not here. And like,
right.
Why are we?
And also don't rush me either. But I
Give
think
me a minute.
But it was mainly because they looked at him as like a bad person. And that's what also was upsetting, because then like when something actually happened that was similar the next year, everybody like, this was so hard because I love the girl that this happened to as well with her. But like literally they passed away from the same thing. And everyone did a whole like thing for her, brought her food. I don't know if they gave her money, basket, like all this stuff, did a whole thing.
Just like
support.
Right.
And like when it happened with me, it was like because again, and everyone's listening, they're like, well, it was different. Like this person lied about these things, but that person did too. But again, it was just one of those things where it's such a worldly view of like, well, he was a bad person, so we're not going to like even help you.
Right.
Or like,
do you also think it's because people look at you and they're like, you're so strong, so like you don't need the support?
Yes.
Because I would say that like I consider myself a very strong woman, but then like you're talking about like feeling lonely, especially when you need the support. So like I feel that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yeah.
like,
and
anyway.
it's hard because I think that's something that everyone needs to know and listen to and just be reminded of, is that everyone needs support.
Like, check on your strong friends.
Yes, but
check on the girl bosses, please.
But really though, and nobody really does. And that's the thing, is it's like they've always kind of assumed, even with my injury, like, oh, look, you look okay.
They'll be back.
Yeah, and it was
we'll see you next week, honey.
Right. And you're just like, guys, I mean, we can be optimistic, but let's also be realistic.
Right.
Like that was like the person that I thought was the love of my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the time.
Give me some grace.
And yeah, exactly. And so it was one of those things where, just all of it just was so just like hard, and the whole rushing somebody through it does not help. Everyone grieves differently. It hits you at different times. I mean, there's still times even like, where you're just like, everything is great. Like, I mean, you exactly, I'm sure you can imagine or I'm sure people would imagine that like, now you have a husband that, you met in third grade and whatever. And then you got these two kids.
We're not married yet. Davis, we're not married
yet. Oh my
God.
Sorry.
Put a ring on it.
Hey, well, this is a sign. This is a sign. I didn't know, because it looks like you like the tattoo. So
to say Carlos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because some people do that now where I was like, yeah. So I just didn't know.
I get it.
Oh, this is an Aura ring, by the way. You guys. This is not a thick ass wedding band. Literally,
Hello.
okay, I ordered the size that was not correct. All right. So
I
I have
love
to
it.
make it work on this finger. So we're going to make it work.
I
And it's
love it.
fine because it was way too expensive to try to mess up. And they're even like, we'll send you a kit so you can measure your finger. I was like, I know my size.
Yeah, you do. Not that.
Not that. Yep. So whatever. Anyway, but no, it's funny because I would wear this ring on this finger, you know, like, or on the other finger. And I've had this since I was 14. You know, my
Right.
mom gave it to me. And my mom's like, you're never going to meet somebody. If you know what I mean? And I was like,
Okay,
if this is
Mom.
the ring they think, like, I'm so done. Like, I'm so over it. Like, no. But anyway, but I was going to say that, like, I think that someone could look at, you know, your life now or whatever and be like, oh, like, she's doing so great, you know, all this stuff, whatever, but like, it still can hit you. And it probably still does hit you at any point.
I'm like, I'm human.
And exactly. And no matter how strong or no matter how many accolades or no matter how, you know, worldly famous or whatever the thing
Right.
happens or how many sales you do, it doesn't matter because it is a loss, you know? And so I guess for me, it's like, I find comfort in, like, you know, like I said, being able to feel like, okay, I'm just going to live my life in a way that, because like the other day I was like, you're 31, like go do something fun. Like go, like stop acting like you're, because you're not really, I mean, I'm sick, like with my autoimmune stuff, but like I'm not to the point where I'm so like attached to this couch. Like I can go do things.
Right.
You know, whatever. So it's like things could always be worse. And so again, it's like focus on what can you do today. And it's like I went for that full moon paddling or whatever, the paddle board, you know? And like I knew the girl that like owns the place. I didn't even realize she owned it. And so it's hilarious. But, you know, went out there and it was like kind of spooky and like creepy, but like it was so relaxing though, you know? And like I loved it. And I was just like, man, this is so exciting. So it's like I feel like doing different things helps, you know?
100%.
And because I mean, like I was also like, okay, I could just like sit here, you know, and
Right.
like feed the lonely or whatever.
Right.
And it was just like, no. And so, and that's why I like doing, you know, the expo or doing events or, you know, going to speaking agents or whatever, like not overfilling the time now,
Right.
like learning how to sit with the time I am alone.
Right.
But like having that balance that looks like for me.
Right.
You
Well, from outsider looking in, I would say I think that you do a good job at like having your own alone time, but then the support system you've created, one with your brand and what you do and your fitness, but like your podcast, the people that come on here, like their stories are inspirational. Like when you listen to them and stuff, and then like just you, I don't know. I just think that you're doing it.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate that. That's so sweet. No, when you said you're like, I'm starting the podcast, I'm listening to all, you know, I was like, I love that. Because I mean, because I think like when we first were starting out, like obviously like it was just people didn't have time or, you know, they hadn't listened to them before or whatever. And so it just is so much more meaningful because then it's like you also are piecing together as a part of this like amazing community within the podcast now. And that's been cool. So no, I'm so excited to have you. And like, it's really special for you to share, you know, everything that's happened and all of that. And so tell me like, what is kind of your, you know, with being in Nashville and everything going on, like, you know, you're not doing the bodybuilding anymore, focus all on your, you know, your business and stuff.
Right.
So do you feel like, have you gotten to a point where there's been like any burnout stuff, or do you feel like, you know, like, because again, being an entrepreneur, we all have those, you know, moments.
I mean, yeah. So I actually, when Klon first started, I was with a partner and I took over the company, I think a year and almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And leading up to me taking over, like the last year and a half, 2 years, I feel like I've been in like a rut.
Oh, okay.
That way, but just because it went from a partnership to solo and like so much.
Yeah. Tell me
shifting.
how was that? Like that mindset? Because I've never had a partner to help, you know? So like, do you feel like it's a lot like for you to do by yourself that like you can sustain it? Or are you like, I got to build an empire essentially?
Both.
Okay.
Cause I can literally do anything.
Yes.
Because,
for sure.
and like my whole life, I'm like, oh, it's not that hard, right? Like,
right.
That's not that hard.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Both, but from having someone do it with you to doing it solo, there's definitely learning curve, but you've done it yourself the whole time. So like, you know, but yeah, there's some things that I still wish that I had a partner for, but then I feel like I get to be more creative and I get to be, I feel like it's actually cared for like how I want it to be cared for.
Okay,
If that makes, like,
for sure.
there's more passion in it and like my full passion's in it. And then I don't feel like someone doesn't care. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
do. What was
so-
was that person, did it end poorly or was it like, okay, like, did they just want out or was it
Yeah.
like,
So
okay.
she ended up, so she had her first baby. So she had her first baby and then she was pregnant with her second. And she was like, no, I'll be fine. And then she was like, you know, I just want to focus on, because it's a lot. Like being boss is like, when do you sleep?
Yeah.
When do you stop?
Yeah.
But so she
Well,
just
being a boss
wanted,
and a mom, like that's I can't imagine.
yeah.
Like, that's what I'm
So
like,
she just
it's a
wanted
lot.
to take a step back and focus on her family and stuff. And
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. Like, I just didn't know. I wanted to ask
Yeah.
about that because, yeah, like, I originally, like, when I first started my business, like, I knew nothing, man. I thought that an LLC meant that you had to have a partner.
just a company.
I'm like
Limited
staring at the camera
liability
right now. Literally, like, yeah, I had no idea. Like, and I was just so misled with
But
stuff.
how do you know? You don't know unless you know.
Exactly. And like I just had so like there's always this is the thing. Look, I'm not against men. Okay. I would love to love a man with my whole heart. Okay. But every time there's been like any like in my life, it has been caused by a man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I just remember like this girl that was going to like help and like she wanted to work with me.
Right.
Well, he wanted her to have like
Like, work
49
with you, like
run the business.
Oh.
Because I was about to start the business.
Oh,
and
okay.
he was like, yeah, well, she should have 49% of the business and you have 51. And I was like, what will she be doing? And he was like, oh, she like teach classes.
So why does she get almost 50% of my business?
Thank you. But I was
Are you-
23.
So you said yes.
And no, of course
I was
not,
like,
girl.
stop it.
No, come on. Now. I ain't that.
I was like, I'm about to jump over this microphone.
No. But again, I loved her,
Right.
and she was amazing, whatever. But he just kind of came at it from that point. And I was like, this felt like I instantly
Was
knew
he with her?
her husband.
Oh, okay.
And I immediately knew that like this was not that felt wrong. You know what I'm saying?
You just
And then
gotta follow that intuition,
but
man.
then it was like I was like, okay, I'll do like 3% or something like that for her. And then but then like the paperwork never even got filed. She never even filed it. And I was like, well, this is the point of like why we wouldn't work
Yeah.
well together because like
You have to
those things
file-
weren't even
yeah.
get done. So it all worked out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just one of those things where like I just was so like, oh, I should have help. You're right. Like he was like kind of talking that into my ear, but it's like, no, like you have to
Well,
believe
you like
in
doubt yourself.
yes. And again,
Anytime I've doubted myself, it's like detrimental.
right.
To
Well, and
something
then
sometime
so
later.
that was coming at me, but then also an old coach who that was the whole thing. But he was also saying like you're not ready, and
like a mentor coach.
Mhm. Well, like this one, like yeah, and that was the whole thing. But and so it was just like again, 23, about to turn 24, whatever, and I was like. Yeah, I got the logo. I got the website up.
I'm gonna go.
I'm doing it.
Pulling the
Like
trigger.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what people I think when they look at even like this business and whatever, and maybe look at yours, that they think like, oh, like it just seems so easy and like, oh, everyone could do it or whatever, right? It's like, oh, it's just clothing. Oh, it's just personal training. Like that's what I get a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like what's your other job?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like I get it on some level because some people just genuinely don't know and they want to know
Right.
because maybe they weren't as successful or they couldn't make it on their own or they
Right.
just don't. They're like, you know. Yeah, I don't know. They always want to know what the deal is, but there really is no catch. It's hard work and it's
Right.
hours and hours and hours and really never taking, never having that off.
Right.
And that's
And like missing out on things.
well,
Like,
yeah. And I don't know if your brain works like this, but mine is like there's always something that I am creating in my head or that can be done.
Yeah.
Like there's always a new thing or there's a new
I literally texted you today and was like, hey. Or when I texted you about
Yes.
the outfit, I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
You wanna
yeah, exactly. And so
wanna do this?
But that's what I'm saying. And that's where like
Yeah.
I'm the same way. It's so and I mean there's like so many meetings and there's this and that and whatever. And it's just so funny because like it's so different than a 9 to 5. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't
No.
this is not me saying like, oh yeah, like I want to work for somebody or
No,
whatever
I don't.
at all. But it is an understanding that like I don't know, people just don't get, I feel like, unless
Right.
they're in it, right?
My aunt, so my mom and dad in Idaho, they owned a restaurant, like a little fast food restaurant.
okay.
And my aunt said to my mom once, she was like, my mom was like, oh, I got to work. And she was like, you don't actually work. And my mom was like, I literally run the restaurant and then come home and still have to do all the paperwork for the restaurant.
Right.
What do you mean?
Right. Exactly.
She's like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't go to work. She's like,
Right.
You're
like,
you're
I don't know what you're saying. And like I said, I think it's a lot of projection and a lot of, no offense to, your air, whatever. But like, but again, it's like, it really is that. And I think that you have a great opportunity for Evie. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. For her to see like a strong figure.
And that was the reason I did my last show. So my second show, I kind of knew that I didn't, like, I wanted to compete again, but like my full heart wasn't in it, if that makes sense. Like, it was mostly because like I love to train hard and I love to work towards something, but I also want to show Evie that like you can literally do anything you want.
Yes.
So like there's a bikini competition.
Yeah.
Because that's what she sees it as, right?
Yeah.
Then do that if you want to.
Right.
Oh, there's a really cool job you want to go after? Go after that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so that's why I did it. And then like I just want her to see. And then she's so funny because now she's like, Mom, I'm going to own a business. Okay, Mom, I got the table outside. I set up a lemonade stand.
Work.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's
her
go.
freaking lemonade was $5 or $10. And then she still asked for tips.
Hey.
I'm like,
No shame.
girl.
No shame.
She's like, this is pink lemonade.
Yeah.
Dude.
Special. Special ordered, like, for real. That's fantastic. But, like,
Dude, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because I actually think you bringing that up because I actually was thinking the other day, I looked at my mom, I said, you remember when I used to sell candy bars?
Dude.
And she was like, I do. And I was like, I remember the box. I remember the box that came in and brought the peanut M&Ms, but then we got the regular M&Ms. And then, I mean, like, the Snickers. I was like, you really, like, but literally, Dad was like, he even taught me. He was like, we would stand outside of Sam's Club to do it, right? These are like fundraisers for my Christian school, right? And like, he would be like, okay, look, like, sell it for 2 for 1, essentially, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll make up the difference.
Right.
That way you move the product. And then people are happy, and then maybe they'll be more likely inclined to buy more, whatever, right? And like,
thanks, Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it was so good though. Like, it was just like and just even learning that at like young age. And I always won all the competitions. I think I won a bike. I won this like 5-foot candy cane. I mean, I won a lot of different things.
Heck
you know what I mean? But like, I would sell candles. I would go door to door.
The Yankee candles.
The selling the candles. I was like, I got some samples. You want some samples, Granny?
Like sift through the freaking.
I was like, so you're gonna want 4? Or you're gonna want 12 for like the order
the
that comes in?
24-ounce ones.
But this is me, like, I mean, literally, I did all this before the age of 10 because, or like before, I guess 12 because I went to co-op school when I was like 12 years old. So, but when I think about it, I'm like, dude, the grind was like always there.
Always.
And that's when people are like, did you always know that you wanted to do this? It's like, I didn't know what it would look like. Yeah. But like, but
I was
like,
gonna make some money somehow.
But and that's why I love and that's why I love Fight. Like actually having a product like that.
Yes.
Like like training, like I'm the product, whatever. But like it's more of my services. But it's more of like I love having an actual product like that. And like it makes me so happy because you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And then now the book, you know,
I love that.
And so it's like exciting. But it's just that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
And I guess the biggest thing for me is it's like don't let anyone ever like kill her, kill that spirit for her.
Right.
You know. Because that's the reason.
She's giving me a run for my money. She is doing great, but Mom's struggling.
Oh, what do you mean?
No, she's just like, to raise a girl like that is
challenging,
dude. Yeah, so like I love her, but she's kicking my ass as a parent.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope one day I get the opportunity to, but it's like the things I know I put my mom through as well.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like,
and she's just so strong. Like, right? You think about the stuff you did to your mom. Like me too. I'm like, dang.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, do we really have to go through this?
Yeah.
Can we skip? Mm-mm. Can we like?
No. I think it's a rite of passage for all of us.
Yeah. Like we have to go through it.
Yeah.
So when you went to, wait, where did you go to college?
I didn't go to college.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. It was just high school to then. Okay. Gotcha. So, does anyone ever ask you like, how did you get like what did you do to kind of like start the business? Like, did you research or are you more of like, I'll try and error or like, what was it like?
Both.
Yeah.
So Davis is always like, you need a plan, you need to research. And I'll like do that. And I'm like, okay, this is the stuff I've gathered and let's go. And he's like, wait, we need like, I'm like, no, we're going.
Right. Exactly. You're
The
like,
other
I gotta
day he told me, he was like, how is it that you like say you're going to do something and it happens? Like no matter what it is,
Right.
it like happens. And I'm like, because the grind don't stop, baby.
Right.
We're going.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this happen.
So do you feel like that was like in you from a young age, or do you feel like it kind of came out like, or do you feel like after like loss, like that kind of?
I feel like I've always been a really hard worker. Like I've always been praised for that.
Yeah.
So I think the grind has been there. I think the goal and the passion maybe has shifted a little just with life and experiences and stuff. But I feel like I've always been this way, but definitely more passionate about certain things.
Okay.
As an adult.
Yeah. I love that. I always like to ask because people have always kind of asked me that, you know, and it's like, yeah, like that's just kind of how I came out.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how.
Yeah.
You either got it or you don't.
But really
like,
though, and that's the thing too, is it's like, I believe that you can fight for what you want. So if you really want to be that person and you want to be an entrepreneur or whatever, but again, you have to adjust what like again, no expectations of things.
Well, that's
like,
just it. Like to have zero expectations sounds crazy, right? You're like, what do you mean?
No, I get that.
As soon as I stopped having, because we were just talking about like the lull, right?
Yeah.
So for 2 years after I took over, absorbed the company, then it like that lull where like you're not feeling like you're. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I have so many things.
No, say all of it. It's okay. But like, so you had the lull or whatever, but like, are you talking about in terms of your like work ethic or like, what do you?
Yeah. So when I took over from that, like there was a lull in my work ethic because I was like, I've worked so hard and I feel like for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
because of the expectations.
Yeah, because
so
of the expectation. So like I had this expectation that other people were going to be as passionate or as work as hard as I am. And like, I'm sure, because like even before I own my own business, whenever you work in like a restaurant or like whatever you do, if someone's not giving at least 100% with what they're doing, you're like, you're here to do something, like do that thing 100%.
And that's why it's so hard because literally everyone that's talked to me that like kind of has even given me any advice or whatever, they're like, yeah, like you have to like, you know, scale at some point or whatever. And I'm like, cool. Okay. Please explain to me.
Scale.
Like, yeah, like please explain to me about like, they're like, finding other people to like do what, you know, whatever, to keep on with the brand and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm like, cool. Like, please show me where these people are. It's the same thing with like, oh, like you find a good Christian, like, you know, man or whatever. And it's like, cool, like show me where they are. I have no problem, you know, like trying to figure out like if they're the right fit or whatever. Like I want those opportunities. Like right now I'm in that season where I'm genuinely like, last night I went to like a influencer event thing, right?
Oh, right.
And
you
of course,
ran into that girl from the fit show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she had like recognized me or whatever. Yeah. And so that was really cool. But the whole thing is at those events, 9 times out of 10, they're not meant for like straight men. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a bunch of like,
you don't say.
Yeah. So again, I mean, like, I'm just saying because somebody bring a friend of theirs, like, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Anyway, but you have all these people. So it's like not even the opportunity to like meet somebody.
Right.
So it's like, but okay. So then I was like, you know, I'm all dressed up. Like I'll go try to go have dinner somewhere, like, you know, whatever.
Right.
But then it's like, you don't see anyone out there either. So it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm so ready to like go on dates and like do things.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with like, feeling if I'm like ready or whatever. It's like, yeah, like I could have someone work for me tomorrow.
Right.
It's just, again, finding the right people. Like I already have stuff in place that I would want them to do and like how to get started and whatever that would give us both enough time to grow and like, you know, see if they're a good fit and all that stuff and whatever. But it's so hard to find a confident enough person, truly confident.
Dude.
Right. But also that, that doesn't feel overly confident that they can do it themselves.
Right.
That they understand why they want to be a part of the brand, why they want to be a part of the community, and what that even looks like too.
Right.
Because I've had people like literally their words ride my coattails.
Stop it.
And be like, I want to make like the Dani D money.
What? We're not in it for that.
Right. But it's one of those things of like, that was the whole thing. So that put a lot of pressure on me. That was a lot of frustration. And then it's like, then I feel like I'm not doing my best, but then they're barely giving an effort. And so it's just like you learn all of these things and you're just like, man, like, so you almost feel defeated because even like I was on the paddle ride and like, again, I love the like this person that was talking to me, she didn't mean it in any type of way, but she said, man, like, she's like, you're still doing your business and everything. I said, yeah, I'm still running my business 7 years strong, whatever. And she was like, you must have like so many people working under you by now. And I was like,
you should just start naming your different responsibilities.
Right.
And be like, oh yeah, I've got Patricia for social media.
My different personalities is more what you mean.
Yeah. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to.
So my thing is like, I really do feel like I could manage them well and do a good job if given the opportunity. Just like I know I could be like a great partner and a great wife. Like I've shown that to myself. I know that. And, but it's just, again, like finding the right people.
Right.
But so yes, I have a couple of meetings and stuff scheduled to talk with some people to try to figure out like, how to do that more so. But like, I don't know. I mean, like, and that's why I try to tell people too. It's like everything is at such a great point right now. And I feel very grateful. I feel very blessed. There's obviously things that I still want to, like, I want to do and I have aspirations to do and whatever. But I look at it more from a lens of if I don't want to do it, then I don't do it anymore.
Yes.
You know what I mean? 100%. I don't just do it to do it.
Right.
And so many people get caught up in the just doing things. They don't actually ever could like do anything with that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's like, it's so interesting to me. And like, for example, like even with the book, like, and you were just talking about something, and this brought this up in my mind. I saw someone I hadn't seen in forever, and he was like, "Oh, hey, and he's like, yeah, I've been kind of out of commission. I'm really doing stuff." I was like, didn't notice. I always thought you're grinding, like, cool.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, and I was like, what? He's like, what about you? I was like, well, I just came out with my book, and like, here it is. And he was like, so I've been trying to. He's like, he literally said, I've been trying to write a book for 6 years, and he was like, but it's just so hard to finish things, and I literally was like, what? Bruh. Like, but I thought that was so interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it really does come down to that whole thing about like hard work and like, and that will surpass, So it's not even that like some things are better or whatever, or some people have more followers or whatever. It's literally because they showed up and they did it.
Right.
And that's what people need to remember. Follow through 100%. Well, because that was with the book. Like I just had no capacity to start it.
Right.
Because I didn't feel well. And when I didn't, I was just resting and then everything was given to everybody else. And so finally I was like, just start typing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be long. Like get your points in there, whatever. And then my assistant, like I had her format it and whatever. Cause I hate that stuff. I'm not the best at that. And I was like, and she formatted it and then we were good.
Right. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's like, again, it's just, some people, it's like, again, they can't finish things. Some people have a hard time starting things.
Yeah.
But you just, if you don't make the decision, you will always say the same.
Right.
And
time's going to pass anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. And so do you think that, when you look at kind of like your driving factors, right? Do you look at, because you're passionate about like helping people, is it that, but is it also like to showcase for your daughter? Like explain, like if you had to tell someone about Klon and all of that, like what would you say is like the number one thing that's the most important to you
within Klon? I think, well, there's a lot of things.
Yes.
I'm like, how do I?
We did this as like a technique thing at the thing that I went to the other day. So that's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I like bullet points with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Women are awesome and strong.
Mm-hmm.
Your body's awesome no matter where you're at.
Right.
You should be able to afford the shit you want.
Yes. Yep.
And it should be quality.
Yeah.
And you should feel inspired and loved by your community.
That's awesome. No, those are great. And that's what's awesome. And like, so I love that. So, and I think that the whole, like with what you're saying about being affordable and stuff is such a huge thing. Because when you said it like that, and even when you're talking to me, I was like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. Like get you or like get, whatever. And so that was like so cool. And I love too, because can't people just message you and then like because you do like pre-orders, right? Mm-hmm. Like for like larger sizes that might not be out there.
Yeah. So we just did a pre-order. I don't do them very often, but we had sold out of this
Yeah.
ribbed double set. So I did do a pre-order, and it actually gets restocked on October 1st.
Okay,
So, but mostly I'll get a set, and some of them have certain sizes. Some of them will have my bigger sizes, but it just depends on who wants it, I guess, really.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll get certain sizes to test the waters. And then
Yes.
if more people want it, then I'll do like the votes and stories and stuff just to make sure that.
Because that was one thing I would say that, like, I think that when people look, like, because on your site, do you say that? Like, do you have it where it has a size, like a size limit, or is it like?
When you go into it, it shows as the size limits.
Okay.
But that's a good thing to put on before they click on it.
I would say, yeah, just because I think people get really deterred. Because I know, for me, for example, it's like when I when I go to somewhere, if I already think that, like, if it like, I'm not going to ask the extra question. I mean, now I would, but like when I first was starting out, like I wouldn't ask the extra question. I'd be like, oh, like they carry my size, like they, you know what I mean? And so just kind of like it's bringing back, like, for me, like Betty Johnson, where I knew that like the largest size I had was 14, and I had to fit in that dress for my 16th birthday party. And so it was like one of those things where I was like, I will fit in this because it's the largest one they have. You see what I mean? But I didn't even ask to be like, because I was so uncomfortable to be like,
Always message me. Always message me.
Okay, yeah. So I want them to know that like, and that's what I was trying to tell.
Send me a screenshot. I like this one.
Yeah.
What do you have right now?
And like exactly. And same goes for my stuff. Like I'm always like, guys, just message me and talk to me if you have a question.
Because most of the time I take sizes off because no one's buying them. So then I have them. So when I do like in-person stuff, I have them. Exactly. So just message.
Yes, exactly. And that's my whole thing too, that I've tried to tell people. It's like, it's not super black and white. Like, again, because someone will say like, oh, well, your program is so expensive. I'm like, do you even know which program?
I'm like, I put a general price out.
Right. Like, and also too, they'll be comparing it to somebody that I see like 3 times a week. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want, I'm like, do you want to see me 1 time a week? Or do you want to do an online program? Like, I literally have offers for like anyone. And even with the challenge, right? That's a lower offer. And then even from there, get a book.
Right, because we get it.
It's $10
on
Amazon. And leaving a review is free. So, you know what I mean, though? Like, I mean, the Lord, help me with that.
Right.
Like, and I get it, right? Like, it's prioritizing things. I mean, joining the Patreon, it's $30 a month.
Right.
Then you get free shipping on Fight for Life. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you're, in the Patreon or whatever. And then it's like discounts on the shirts and like all those other things. So it's just kind of like, I don't know.
Just message me.
Exactly. So that's the point that we're saying, guys, is like, just message Alex. She's super cool. And so, yeah. But so what would you say, I guess, like, besides, like, after you left with, like, the partnership and everything, and then you, like, because you had that lull, like, now you feel more creative. You feel like you're able to do things. Or so do you feel like, like, what would be kind of your, I don't know, like, big dream goal? Like, do you want Klon to be like, because I don't really know how it works with like clothing stuff. Like, do you want like the website to just be getting like a certain amount of orders every month? Would you want it to be seen like, is it, I mean, it's outside the US, or is it like?
Right. So right now we're just inside the US. Okay. The goal used to be like global and huge, I was like, I'm going to be Gymshark, Lululemon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But honestly, like the community that I have now is like, like I've got really strong moms. I've got really cool, like dog parents, animal parents. Yeah. Like we have so many different kinds of people that I just, where what we have and what we create and continue to bring more people. Yeah. Like that's just what I want. I want to continue to clothe you in what makes you feel like sassy and good. Like when people wear this, they're like, I feel like a freaking model when I'm walking because like the legs. Yeah. I'm like, you want to feel good, look good in your stuff.
No, that's huge.
Yeah. It'd be cool if, like I did have a couple orders go overseas twice. They went to Germany, which was super cool. Yeah. But the shipping is
it outrageous?
Yeah. So like, it
doesn't make sense.
I wish I could get to you, but like if you want to pay the shipping, then.
Yes. No, 100%. No, that's wild. But yeah, I get that. That's cool. I love that, Alex. Yeah. That's so awesome. So tell me something that, because I don't really know like too much about you. Right. Like, what is something that you'd want to share with everyone besides, like, I mean, you're a boss, obviously. You're a mama. 1 of 5. Like
1 of 5.
Yeah. What? Do you know what your Enneagram is? Do you know the Enneagram? Like,
I have it saved on my Pinterest, but I.
Okay. Are you like an 8? I don't know. You're not giving 8, but I don't.
Maybe oh my gosh, maybe an 8. I think don't know.
Okay.
I
don't know well enough to like list
don't.
them out, but my
Yeah.
clients, we always talk about that, about like,
Yeah.
about whatever. But yeah, because and you just had a birthday, right?
My birthday's in October.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with that, like, are you going to do anything? Do you do anything like regularly for your birthday?
Well, I love Halloween.
Okay, me too.
Love Halloween.
Me too.
So we're having a Halloween party this year.
Hey, okay,
So
I love
we're really
that.
excited about that. And then for my birthday, we'll probably just chill. I used to like to like have a huge whatever, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have Halloween parties now.
Hey, I love that. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I'm going to Indiana to see China. She's been on the podcast, but my bodybuilder best friend, and they have like it's like a Halloween festival, and so we're gonna go do that and get dressed up and everything. And then the week before that, she's coming up here, and we're gonna go see Hocus Pocus at the Nightlight, 615, everything. So I have like all these activities, and I just love it. So I'm super excited. Last year I went to Universal and was there for Horror Nights on Halloween.
Gosh,
it was fantastic. Like I wouldn't have changed it for the world. Like that was my dream,
spooky.
And it was so spooky. Zombies running around, and I was riding roller coasters at 1 a.m. Like,
oh
it
my
was,
gosh,
yeah, so cool. I was Michael Myers' girlfriend.
Oh my gosh,
so that's what I dressed up as, and so I love that. But yeah, so that's gonna be super exciting. But yeah, what do you guys like? When do you do like new drops of stuff? Do you have is it like monthly? Is it quarterly?
So yeah, I try to do monthly. So there's the new drops coming in October.
Okay.
I can't tell you all about them because you have to subscribe to the newsletter.
Okay,
to know
subscribe
about
to the newsletter. Yeah.
VI Babes.
Yes,
Get the news first. So I try to drop on like the 1st and then the 15th.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, so October we'll have one, but November there won't be any drops because that's our big Black Friday sale.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna do in person somewhere.
Ooh,
this
okay.
year,
All right, cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll check it out for sure. So are you what would you say has been like the hardest? Like, is it the marketing? Is it somebody because maybe someone's listening, they're like, man, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a boss babe. Like, I want to be in clothing or whatever it might be. Like, what's been the hardest part, I guess, like reaching people or like, getting people signed up for the newsletters? Like what's something you've struggled with? Or getting people to understand the brand? Has that been an issue or like?
No, I don't think so. Like that kind of stuff, I feel like you just learn it. Mm-hmm. It just makes it sound like I know everything, but like
no, it doesn't.
Literally, like that's not the challenge for me. The challenge to me is like you don't have anyone to keep you accountable for anything. So if you're not doing it, then it's not going to get done. So like if I don't schedule the newsletters, if I don't schedule my month out, then every day I'm going to just not have anything. Yeah. Right. So like I have to be obnoxious about my brand in order for my brand to grow.
But see, here's the thing. Yeah, no. Okay, 100%. But let's actually pause on that because as we're finishing up and stuff, I just want to say this. Like, I have been in everyone's face since like out the gate. Right. You know what I mean? Like when I came up, like I had shirts, I had bands, I had whatever. Like my name was on everything. Dandy Fitness everywhere. You know what I mean? So it's on the water bottles, it's on the, all of it. So it's one of those things where like at the end of the day, it's like you have to do that.
I'm my biggest hype queen.
You're the biggest hype. Exactly. You're the biggest hype queen. And so like, that's why I always tell people I'm like so thankful when like they share stuff or when they even like my post or when they whatever.
Every little heart, every little comment, like share is huge.
It's huge. And then because it becomes one of those things where then it gets into somebody's hands that like needed to see the message.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe needed to love their body and in some clothing that they felt, like they never thought they could wear or whatever. Right. And so it comes down to like the support of everyone. Cause I think that a lot of times they think that we don't need it. Like, oh, but like you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, y'all don't know. You know what I mean?
You don't
like,
know.
You don't know.
You have no idea.
And also like no one's asked like how many books I've sold.
Right.
They don't know. I could have sold 2.
You sold them.
But you know what I mean though? Like, but like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, I think people always think that, whatever, whether it's up here or it's down here. Right. Either one I don't want to be in. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I would love for people to be like, no, like, come to MoveFit, like come, share the podcast, like a friend, like whatever it might be, and so, wear a band and like, like rock it out in the gym. So it's just, it's those things. But like for me, the biggest challenge, it is not even like getting my name out there because people know who I am. It's people see me as so busy. And this actually bleeds over to my personal life, where they see me so busy that they don't even bother sometimes asking me to hang out, or they don't even bother, like they just assumed. And some of my best friends, like we had to have a real conversation about that.
Like, stop assuming.
Of like, you know, literally being like, no, like I will make the time.
Do you know what assuming does?
Like, I know. Exactly. And they know too.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too, is people be like, well, I just thought that you were busy. I didn't want to say. I'm like, no, guys, like if you need to talk to me about real stuff, like you're like struggling with things or whatever, especially with your healthy lifestyle journey, then yes. But no, if you need a link to something that's in every thing I posted and they've been in emails for the past month, just go find the link.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's like not like, let's
not
make
everything. Like I'm still your friend and you're still a person.
Right.
So like if there's real stuff,
right,
let's talk about it.
And that's, and so that's where I always like want to, you know, and someone was like, well, I always see you on your stories and you're here, you're there and you're whatever. I'm like,
I literally have to.
Well, yes, but exactly. I have to, but also I want people, I've always wanted the brand to feel as real and authentic as possible.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's getting up at 5 a.m. this morning to then train clients all day,
right,
to then, you know, have a podcast, to then have another podcast, to then like all the stuff. Right. But that's the thing of like, you know, you're making people's schedules work. You're fighting for what you want. You're doing all the things. So it's like, that's just a part of it. And but like the whole being busy, it's like, but then also like, what am I doing tonight?
This.
But you know what I mean though? Like I'm just like chilling.
Yeah.
So like, could I go for like a walk or could I go do something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yes. So it's that thing of like, there is still time, you know, to go do things and whatever. So that's why like I love like going to do like random adventures or like, you know, or even like I would love to go do like a little cabin, like getaway type thing, you know? And I've done that before.
Yeah.
And it was just so fulfilling, you know? And so anyway, and even with like Halloween coming up and having those extra activities. So it's like, no, like, there are so many things that I still want to accomplish and I want to do. And just because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm busy doesn't mean that I can't
do those things too.
Exactly. So I don't know. So that's my biggest thing that I am wanting to kind of clarify, because it's like, I also have so many offerings. You know what I mean? And you probably feel like that too, because you have so many options of clothes.
Right.
You don't know when you're talking to someone, their vibe may be the pantsuit, but then also they may, or the jumpsuit, but then like they also might just want a sweater. And you're like, you know, trying to navigate that conversation.
Right.
And so that's another thing too on you know, when you're talking to people and you try to, because I'm like, oh, you like want to be a sponsor for the podcast? Oh, like, do you want to like, you know, be a client? Oh, do you want to like, what's the vibe?
What are we trying to do here?
But there's so many offerings. I'm like, and some people look at that as a bad thing. And I'm like, I just want people to know that I think of it as a good thing because I want to help so many people.
Right.
And I know that like one part of each of it, whether it's a free or if it's the most expensive offering or whatever, they're getting so much value.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's meant for them at this time, you know? So anyway, but I did want to ask, because I ask everybody this one on the podcast, but what is something that you love about your body? And I asked him, I asked
me at the expo.
The Nashville show. That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh man, so many fit things. Fit show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there I said my legs, but it's hard to pick one thing, right?
Yeah, because you love everything.
Yeah, because I just really like the whole thing, but I like my mind and my spirit and like all of that too. So,
well, let me ask you this: after you had your babies, so you know, were you like, did you have any like? Because I didn't know you before then. Like, did your body change so drastically? Was it like, did you have hard times with that, or was it just like?
I think carrying a baby and having a baby is a huge thing in itself. It's just so, it's the craziest thing I've ever done. Really, like I grew something and yeah. So yes, it like your body does change drastically because like your hips get bigger, like your ribs get bigger, but then like you can get stretch marks. But honestly, I think my body's really cool that it like was able to be a vessel for these two kids, and then like sure I gained weight and whatever, but that's part of it. You just do what you can to fix it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I love
don't know.
that. No, I think that's great. Because again, like, I think that so many times people think of things as so permanent. Like someone listening right now maybe be like, no, I've been here. Like I'm in this, like I'm not coming out of it. And it's like, no, like you can change.
Yeah, you just
can't
do it.
Right. But you have to figure out what works for you.
Exactly.
And identifying like like what you want to.
Right. My favorite's when people are like, so what pill did you take? I'm like, what pill?
Yeah.
Friggin' determination, girl.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No.
You're like, I was up in the gym. Did you not see me?
Yeah.
Did you forget?
I'm like, my friend just sent me this reel the other day, and it was like, when you ask your friend who's been gymming for 10 years how, like, what you need to do.
Yes.
And they tell you to do that, and they're like, but you want the body by next weekend.
Right. Exactly. But that's the thing is like, because no one sees the years of hard work or the behind the scenes, especially with business, right?
Oh my gosh.
And so it is a hard thing for people to understand, but I think that the more that we talk about it, the more open we are about it. And again, it's not to be negative about it, you guys. It's just simply of like a, understand that it is like our passion. And that's why I was so attracted to you, is because it's like, you really do feel like I could, like, even when you just talked about Klon, you just like lit up. And I was like, like that's how I talk when I talk about Dani Fitness. So like, I was like, okay, like I can vibe with this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not, I can't vibe with somebody just being like no heart in it.
Right.
Even if it's the best product.
Right.
And that people don't want to really.
Because people are buying your energy, right?
Yes.
Like they're buying you essentially because like how you present what they're getting. Like when you buy Klon, you're also like, I'm supporting you. Yeah. I see you. I hear you. Like you're heard, you're loved.
Right.
You're wanted.
I love that.
Anyway.
No, that's so beautiful.
It's like, it's me giving you a hug.
No, but it is. And like I said, I mean, you had no rhyme or reason to like, send me like that. I said that package of stuff that really meant so much to me. And I was just like, man, if only she knew that I was like so upset and like so like in a spot of like,
I had no idea.
Because I refused to buy new clothes. I was being so stubborn about it. And I was just like, I am in such a spot and I feel so negative about,
oh my gosh.
Because with bodybuilding, you go through improvement season and whatever. Mm-hmm. My improvement season is usually in January, February, March. This is usually the time where I'm like, my fiercest and like whatever, but also was very hungry, everyone. But
I
so it's
you're
like
banging now, dude.
But yes, no, for sure. But it's like, but it was just at that point, of like where the cycle, it was, it's like with a job, whatever. And so you feel like it's like, okay, this is the time you're here or whatever.
Right.
And then to be like, okay, I go to my closet and then nothing's really vibing.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, well, that's upsetting.
I hate that.
And and it's just like, I don't want to have that relationship.
Well, and then you just end up wearing like a t-shirt, sweatshirt that's from years ago.
Exactly. And so that's why I was just kind of like no. And I've told this before to all my girls a million times that like when you put on a new fit or when you put on a new outfit or whatever, and you feel like you can conquer the world. Mm-hmm. You can go walk the 3 miles. You can go run. You can go lift heavy. Like you just can.
You can literally do anything.
And exactly. So like that was like, I put those on. I was like, let's freaking go.
Yes.
And that even like helped with, like I said, the inspiration with the challenge and all of that, because we were talking about it at the National Fit Show.
Yeah.
We were sitting there and like collaborating about it, being my assistant and a couple of my clients. And I was like, I really want to see if she would be a sponsor. I think she'd be so cool. You know what I mean?
I'm so excited when you asked.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
And so it's great. And so I think that this is going to be great for everybody to hear you and just, be able to share and stuff.
Thank you.
Because a lot of my girls, like, again, they want to support, any local business, but especially female.
Right.
Owned and everything. So this has been great. So is there anything that you want to leave them with or anything that you want to say or?
Oh.
Yeah. I know.
I'm
so
like,
much.
That's like right on the spot. Dude, I don't know. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I love everything that you stand for. I literally just cry when I listen to your podcast because they just resonate. But
thank you.
I don't know. You're awesome. You can do hard things.
Yeah.
Anything you set your mind to. Mm-hmm. Literally.
Yeah. I love that, girl.
So
thank you for being just a beautiful spirit, like I said. And I genuinely don't really find a lot of like females that are, I hate to say it like that, but you know what I mean? That just are genuinely like super cool and just so fun. And so this has been great. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Until next time.